much for coming out on this beautiful morning. But we also have Reid Coolsaet, who is former Olympian in the Marathon for Canada and now primarily runs trails because it's way more fun. And he's just going to go over a few different tips and tricks for you to think about on your run. So thank you, Reid, for being here.
Last year, I used to run roads a lot, even though 80% of my runs were on trails. But then once I got into trail running, I figured out what real trails were like, not the manicured ones around Hamilton that are all smooth and stuff. So it was a steep learning curve. So I've tried to learn a lot in the last few years, and I wasn't naturally good at it. So that's why I think I'm a pretty good spokesperson for I kind of like how to get rolling with it, you know, the tips and stuff like that. You know, if you talk to someone who's really good at trail running, it comes naturally. They don't know the struggles that the rest of us go through. So the cool part about this training run versus last year is one of the biggest tips before you could do Summit 700 is to train on the terrain that you're going to be racing on. Last year, this was 2 weeks before the race, so there wasn't much time to go and beat your legs up on steep terrain and kind of get your legs bulletproof. But now with 5 weeks to go, you know, in the next 3 weeks, you can do a lot. You can accomplish a lot as far as getting your legs ready for the demands of going up and down this a few times, depending on what race you're going to do. You're still going up and down, and it's the downhills that are going to crush you. If you're absolutely fearless, you can run down the hills really fast and not really break much. I can't do that. So when I do go down the hills, it really does beat your legs up with those eccentric contractions. But the more you do that, the stronger your legs will become. You'll be more prepared for race day. When it comes to race day, there's the two things that will make or break your race because the training's done. It's pacing and nutrition, especially for the 21K. These races start with an uphill. You can ruin your race by going up this hill super fast and super hard, right? And it won't feel that hard in the beginning, but believe me, it will add up. If you were to poll people at the end of the race and ask them if they either regretted going out too slow or too hard, I would bet you no one regrets going out too slow, right? If they went conservative, they're probably happy with it. There's probably gonna be a handful of people that regretted going out too fast. So just something to keep in mind that, you know, if you blast up this hill in the 21K and you're a minute or two faster, you're probably going to be more than a minute or two slower on your whole race, right? So like, take it easy. Don't spike your heart rate. Heart rate's not a big deal going up because that will come down, but what you'll end up doing is you'll overheat. If it's a day in July and it's quite hot, you won't cool down easily. You'll have to stop, put a lot of water on yourself. So just don't overheat in the first place. Try to stay as cool as you can. And it also, it kind of jumpstarts your metabolism to start wanting to burn more carbs, right? So if you take it easy and you're like chill, then your stomach's not going to be asking for more carbs, but you have to ingest more early on. If it's a hot day, you're probably already going to have some troubles with that. So second thing related to that is fueling, right? So fuel the night before. With a race that's going to be, you know, around 3 hours, carb loading really does work. You know, longer races, it almost doesn't matter so much because you're going to have to rely on way more than your stored glycogen. But for a race that's around 3 hours, carb load totally works. And then fuel right from the beginning, right? Like, don't wait till you get hungry. Don't wait to drink until you're thirsty. Like, just try to do it like as you're going. I find the beginning of an uphill is a good time to like get the you know, get a gel out, get whatever kind of food you're gonna have. You're running a bit slower on the uphills, especially, you know, it will slow you down, which is probably a good thing in this first half of the hill, and you're not bouncing as much either, right? So if you're not gonna want to, like, when you're looking, you know, when you're looking ahead at your feet and stuff, you're not going to want to be pulling out a gel and trying to put it down there. So yeah, just fuel early and often. Probably aim for about at least 60 grams of carbs per hour. So if you have that in your mind over the next few weeks, you can practice with that amount. If you can get more than that, that's great. And then on race day, if you've practiced with like 80, you can maybe just like bring it down a little bit because just with, you know, with maybe perhaps, you know, heat or nerves and whatnot, like your stomach's not quite as good at ingesting those carbs. So those are my 3 tips: train for the terrain, pace properly, and fuel properly, and have fun.